The Godfather trilogy is one of the best movie series ever made. The movies are known worldwide, and Michael Corleone is their most famous actor. Fans still talk about his character 30 years after they last saw him, and almost 50 years after he first appeared. This says a lot about him. The Godfather series tells the story of Michael Corleone's life. He has given some of those movies' most famous and influential quotes, and today we'll talk about what these quotes mean. Hello, and welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll talk about the most iconic Michael Corleone quotes, their meaning, and what lesson they really hold. So, please keep your eyes on the screen, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
The comparison between Michael and his father, Vito, is the most intriguing part of the trilogy. Michael doesn't want to take over the family business at first, but once he does, he proves to be an even more brutal gangster than his father. The Godfather Part 2 shows how Michael turned away from his father's goal of protecting his family and made it more about getting power. Michael thinks about this famous piece of advice Vito gave him once, but it's clear that the two men had different ideas about what it meant. Michael always had people in his circle who could be considered enemies. His plan was to keep his enemies close so he could help find out anything that could help him. This kept Michael one step ahead of everyone else. This quote has become so well known that it's become a common saying. Only don't tell me that you're innocent, because it insults my intelligence. And it makes me very angry.
Only don't tell me you're innocent, because it insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
Michael kept CARLO close to him for a while to make him feel safe so that CARLO would admit that he was the one who killed Sonny. After all the family heads had been killed, Michael took action to get CARLO to tell the truth. CARLO tried at first to act like he was just a pawn in Don Barzini's plans, but he eventually gave up, mostly because of this quote from Michael. He gave CARLO a look that was quiet, but deadly. He kept his voice even, as he told CARLO that acting like he was innocent was an insult to his intelligence. In the end, though, it didn't matter because Michael still killed CARLO. Don't ever ask me about my business.
Don't ask me about my business.
This is one of the most well-known lines from the Godfather series because it shows how bad things are getting for Michael. Even though he had told himself before that he had killed the other Dons because he had to, keeping his true plans from Kay made him realize that he liked being a godfather. At first, Kay Adams and Michael Corleone's relationship is sweet and simple. But as the series goes on and Michael gets more involved in his business, their relationship starts to fall apart and gets worse. In the last scene of the first movie, when his wife asks if he killed his brother-in-law, CARLO, Michael says this famous line to her. This is the first of many lies he tells Kay, all of which make it harder for them to be together. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart.
Here, Fredo's fate was pretty much set in stone when Michael discovered that his brother might have been behind an attempt to kill him. We'll never know for sure if Fredo really wanted Michael to die, but Michael decided to do the same to Fredo here. Michael showed his brother he did care for him for the first time in a long time when he pulled him in for a kiss, which was meant to be the kiss of death. He told his brother he knew what his role was. Seeing Michael like this was both heartbreaking and scary. It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
The moment in which Michael shot McCluskey and Sollozzo is so well known that it even appeared in the game based on the film in which we triggered this incident. In the film, Michael was the one who persuaded the others to let him do it. The most impressive thing about him was how he was able to change people's minds about him and carry out the plan. Michael said killing the men wasn't personal like Sonny thought. He also said they could make it look like he was killing a corrupt cop to make the story make sense. Michael got so far because he was good at getting people to do what he wanted. That's my family, Kay. That's not me.
That's my family, Kay. It's not me.
Michael did his best to avoid his family's criminal activities for many years before becoming the Don of the Corleone family. Michael used to be very open with Kay, but he eventually became very secretive. He could best show Kay this by telling her about his father's adventures and business dealings, including how LUCA BRASI was used as a hitman. Michael told Kay that because he didn't want her to think he was like his family. Kay was shocked by the news. Things didn't have to turn out this way, but they did. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Michael will always be known as a gangster, even though he always wanted to leave that life behind. Michael had plans to get out of crime when he was in it up to his work. Because of this, you have to feel sorry for the guy in The Godfather Part 3, when he realizes he's back in the criminal world. When Michael realized this, he said sadly that he would never be able to give up the gangster life. Even when he wanted to leave, he kept coming back for one thing or another. Never hate your enemies. It affects your judgment.
Never hate your enemies. It affects your judgment.
It's strange that Michael had so many enemies, but still didn't care much about them. He did it on purpose because he thought that if he cared too much about his enemies, he would become obsessed with them. By keeping a certain amount of hate away from those who wanted to hurt him, Michael was able to come up with plans. He knew that with Sonny's death he was too emotional, so Michael decided to do the opposite. Never let anyone know what you're thinking.
Never let anyone know what you're thinking.
Because Michael's expression never changed, everyone was afraid of him and felt threatened by him. Michael didn't let anyone around him know what was going on in his mind, whether he was furious or happy. Michael did this to not show any sign of weakness or vulnerability to a possible enemy. He didn't want to know what they could use against him. My father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on the contract.
And my father assured him that either his brains or his signature would be on the contract.
In Godfather Part 2, Michael makes a powerful point about the crisis in Cuba that ties into his own military past. After seeing a rebel soldier give his life to kill a military officer in charge, he says something about how the two sides are different and why the rebels could win. It's also interesting that it makes a connection between Vito and Michael, even though they fight for very different reasons. Michael's fight for greed could be a sign that he's going to fall. Vincent, will you shut up?
Vincent, will you shut up?
Al Pacino did a great job of showing off his acting skills, which made this quote stand out. Vincent, who was Michael's brother Sonny's illegitimate child, was given a lot of freedom because of his family ties. But Michael had enough of Vincent's self-destructive behavior when Vincent didn't help the situation at all by saying that he wanted Michael to make plans for revenge. Michael had been trying hard to become a businessman up to this point. When Vincent talked to him like a regular gangster, Michael got angry and told Vincent to be quiet. You straightened my brother out?
You straightened my brother out.
Before the scene, we had only seen the calm, reasonable Michael. But when he confronted Mo Green, he proved why he was a force to be reckoned with. Michael felt nothing but anger when he found out that Mo had hit Fredo. Mo said that he hit Fredo because Fredo was messing around with the waitresses, but Michael just repeated Mo's lines to get his brother to calm down. Even Mo, who was good at talking his way out of trouble, couldn't stop Michael's sharp words. This is everything about today's video. In the comment area below, please share your thoughts with us. Also, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon to get updates. Thank you. We'll see you next time.